guest teacher Ankumar. Today I would like to discuss a simple lesson from history. Fifth chapter that we will take for our examination according to the Vidya Council syllabus. The fifth chapter name was Kingdoms, Kings and Unruly Republic. Kingdoms, Kings and Unruly Republic. So in this chapter we are going to discuss about first area how the kings are elected in ancient period. Which are the rituals and practices they practiced and performed for becoming a king. And which are the four varnas, in the society during that ancient period, especially later by the period. These are the areas we are going to discuss in today's model. Okay, you know that our present India, our present world, peoples are elected their rulers. Our Prime Minister Narendra Modi, our Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan, elected by people through voting. American President is elected by people. So people is got a supreme role in the selection of the ruler or their government. But the condition of the today's that is not existing in the ancient period. In ancient period, India, rulers are not elected and selected by the people. So different area, different kingdoms and different area, selection of the king is different one. A common pattern that they are selecting and using and choosing for electing and selecting their ruler during that ancient period. That is their performed one function and rituals. That function of the ritual is called Ashwamedha sacrifice. That is called Ashwamedha sacrifice. Ashwam, that means by horse. So horse sacrifice they made or they performed. After performing the Ashwamedha sacrifice, they selecting the king. And king power is automatically increased after the performance of the Ashwamedha function. So we can discuss what is the meaning of what is the Ashwamedha sacrifice or horse sacrifice. This is one of the most modern exam we have found Ashwamedha sacrifice or horse sacrifice. So under this Ashwamedha sacrifice, ritual is performed by the priest. So before that we can discuss what it means Ashwamedha. Say a ruling family, they let loose one horse. That horse is wandered that kingdom and bound apart from that kingdom. So horses, if they got free, they got traveled many areas. They wandered. That horse is wandered. And to checking the horse, king is sent their guards to check that horse. And guards also accompanied and followed by this horse, king's man. And if any ruler of neighboring country and any places, if that horse is visiting and traveling there, if that king is tied that horse and prevent their next journey, or that king or the person is tied that horse, that means that person is like to farm to this ruler. So automatically our God is informing the king. A person or our neighboring king is tied our horse, blocked our horse. So king is ready with one big army and fight against that person and to capture that area and conquer it. If every king and if every neighboring rulers are allowed to move that horse to their country, that means they like to keep a friendship with that king. That's a performance. So if any ruler is blocked or tied to that horse, that means by that ruler is like to farm to this king. Otherwise, that king is ready to move that horse in their country, in their place. That means that king is ready for agree that king power. Like to become a friend. That's about sacrifice. So after one roaming or wandering, that horse is again come to the same palace of the king. So many rulers in that time became friends of that king. So after that one, that king is sacrificed or killed that horse. And many persons are invited. Many great personalities are sitting in that rituals performance. And these rituals are performed by the priest. Priests are performed by these rituals. They were trying with these rituals, maybe Brahmins. And it is inviting many rich persons and neighboring countries, kings and everyone. Everyone are sitting like a gathering. And in that sacrifice for the ritual, our Raja or the ruler is a central figure. And we have a special seat in that function. That seat may be built with the tiger skin, our throne. So the king is what became a supreme power at the time of conducting our Ashwamedha sacrifice. And many people are went to this palace to watch the performance rituals. And they gifted the king. And the relatives of the kings, every wife and son or the one, everyone, they are having or they conducting performing some minor rituals. And other rajas of neighboring country, they were also sitting that gallery and watch this art performance. And ordinary people also, especially Vaishyas, they also brought some gift to the king. And when this ritual is conducted in the royal palace, king is the main attraction. After conducting these rituals, king power is what? Got more. He got enormous power. He became the Raja of that real country. And here, in that function, Shudras, they were excluded. Shudras were a type of people, lower caste. They were excluded from these rituals and many rituals. Other Vaishyas, Kshatriya, Brahmins, kings, and everyone can watch and be part with these Ashwamedha rituals. So that's about the what? Ashwamedha sacrifice, or commonly called horse sacrifice. So once again, I will explain this part. I discussed here that present day election of the ruler. People are selecting our rulers. But in ancient period in India, people are not electing the king. And king increases power after performing a Ashwamedha sacrifice. So we can discuss what meaning of the Ashwamedha sacrifice. It is commonly called a horse sacrifice. Horse sacrifice or Ashwamedha sacrifice mean by our king is at least one horse, very beautiful and powerful horse, and accompanied by king god, king persons, maybe the god soldiers, they accompany that horse. And that horse is wandered in many places. And in which any places, any rulers or the persons are tied to that horse and prevented their journey. That means by that person or the neighboring country's king are ready to fight with our ruler. So ruler is went with one army and there we can see one war. If that ruler is not ready to fight with our ruler, he ready to move that horse really to his kingdom and his place. And he like to keep a friendship with our ruler. So after some days, that horse is returned to his palace meanwhile. Every neighboring countries and place, they agreed the power of the our king. They were become subordinate. They were agreed the power of the king. So if the horse is returned to our palace, there is conducting what? Rituals. That ritual is called Ashwamedha sacrifice. Ashwamedha sacrifice means by they killed that horse with accompanied with one greater rituals. The rituals are performed by priest or the Brahmin priest. And he invited many native rulers, neighboring rulers to this function. They were sitting in that gathering. Brahmins are made these rituals, the religious persons. And king's relatives, wives and sons, they are also performing some minor rituals. And ordinary people, Vaishyas also brought some gift. Our rulers also give some gift to our king. Our priest, if they conducted these rituals, our king rewarded them. King also give one very precious gift to that priest. That is gold and other elements that gifted to that priest. And in that great function, our Shudras, lower caste in that society, they were excluded from this many rituals and these rituals also. That's about the our Ashwamedha sacrifice. So once again, for the sake of understanding, I just explain the Ashwamedha sacrifice. Okay, listen to me here. Just for understanding purpose, there is an Ashwamedha sacrifice. So, രാജാക്കന്മാരുടെ അധികാരം എങ്ങനെയാണ് കൂട്ടിയെന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. അത് ഒരു റിച്വൽസ്, ഒരു ആചാരം അവർ നടത്താറുണ്ട്. അതിന്റെ പേരാണ് അശ്വമേധ സാക്രിഫൈസ്. അശ്വമേധ സാക്രിഫൈസ്, അശ്വം എന്ന കുതിരയാണ്. ഈ രാജാവ് ഒരു മനോഹരമായ നല്ല ശക്തിയുള്ള ഒരു കുതിരയെ സ്വന്തമാക്കി. ആ കുതിരയെ നോക്കാൻ വേണ്ടി ബാക്കിൽ കുറച്ച് സൈനികരെ അയക്കും. ആ കുതിര എവിടേക്കാണ് പോകുന്നത് അവിടുത്തെ രാജാക്കന്മാരുടെ ആൾക്കാർ ആ കുതിരയെ കെട്ടുകയോ അതിനെ ബ്ലോക്ക് ചെയ്ത് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ അതിന്റെ മീനിങ് ആ പേഴ്സൺ ഈ രാജാക്കന്മാരുടെ യുദ്ധത്തിന് റെഡിയാണ് എന്നതാണ്. അങ്ങനെ അവർ രാജാവ് ആർമി വന്നിട്ട് അവരോട് യുദ്ധം ചെയ്യും. അതല്ല, അയൽവാസികളായിട്ടുള്ള രാജാക്കന്മാർ ഈ രാജാവിനെ ഭയക്കുന്നു, എടുക്കാൻ ആഗ്രഹിക്കുന്നുവെങ്കിൽ അവരെന്ത് ചെയ്യും? ആ കുതിരയെ അവരുടെ രാജ്യത്തിലൂടെ കടന്നുകൂടെ അനുവദിക്കും. അവരവരുടെ ഫ്രണ്ട്ഷിപ്പിനാണ് ആഗ്രഹിക്കുന്നത്. അങ്ങനെ തിരിച്ച് ആ കുതിര കൊട്ടാരത്തിനുള്ളിൽ തിരിച്ചെത്തുമ്പോൾ പിന്നെ അവിടെ ഫംഗ്ഷൻ നടക്കും. ആ ഫംഗ്ഷനാണ് അശ്വമേധ സാക്രിഫൈസ്. ആ കുതിരയെ അവരെന്ത് ചെയ്യും? കൊല്ലും, ബലി കൊടുക്കും, അവരെ വധിക്കും. വധിച്ചിട്ട് റിച്വൽസ് ആണ്. അത് നടത്താറുള്ള പ്രീസ്റ്റാണ്, പുരോഹിതന്മാർ, ബ്രാഹ്മിൻസ് ആണ്. അവർ ഒരുപാട് മന്ത്രങ്ങളും കാര്യങ്ങളും ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ടാണ് കർമ്മങ്ങൾ നടത്തിയിട്ടാണ് ആ റിച്വൽസ് നടത്തുക. ആ ഒരു ഫംഗ്ഷനിലേക്ക് അയൽവാസികളുടെ രാജാക്കന്മാരെ, ഒരുപാട് പ്രമുഖന്മാരെ, വൈശ്യ ആൾക്കാരൊക്കെ ക്ഷണിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ടാവും. ശൂദ്ര എന്ന് പറയുന്ന ലോവർ കാസ്റ്റിനെ മുന്നിലില്ല, കാരണം അത് ലോവർ കാസ്റ്റ്. ആ രാജാക്കന്മാരെ കഴിഞ്ഞ ആൾക്കാർ ഒരുപാട് ഗിഫ്റ്റ് കൊടുക്കും, വൈശ്യ സ്ഥലത്ത് ഗിഫ്റ്റ് കൊടുക്കും രാജാവ്. അത് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ കിങ് ബിക്കേം എ പവർഫുൾ പേഴ്സൺ. That is called what? Ashwamedha sacrifice. Then next after that one, we can discuss the one varnas for the caste, for caste. Mainly later Vedic period. After the later Vedic period, one of the period in India. The later Vedic period, there is emerging four varnas. Thus varnas got by birth and occupation. So first one we can discuss which are the four varnas in that period. The first varna is called Brahmin. Brahmins are the first group. Four varnas is first Brahmin, second Kshatriya, third Vaishya, and fourth one is called Shudra. According to later Vedic text, there are religious textbook of Hindus that believe that Brahmins are went through the mouth of the god, almost. And Kshatriya went from hand, and Vaishya went from thighs, and Shudras went from foot. That's a mythology, a story behind these four varnas. So that means exactly four classes, four varnas is it. First one Brahmin, second one Kshatriya, third one Vaishya, fourth one Shudra. These are the four castes. At present in Hindu society, this four castes is existing. First one Brahmins is at present in Hinduism. Kshatriya is it, Vaishya is it, Shudra is it, and many sub-castes also. But major four castes at present in Hinduism also is four: Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. So first of all we can discuss the Brahmin. Brahmin meanwhile they studied the Veda. They were especially religious person. They were priests. They conducted many rituals, yagas, studied Veda. And here also we discuss Ashwamedha function, sacrifice done by the priest, performed by the priest, religious persons. There are the rituals, their religious testing, and their hymns and other chants. So these Brahmins, first two groups under Varna system, there were the supreme caste, high social status, king gifted many gifts to the Brahmins, and they studied Veda very well, and all the rituals performed by the Brahmins, religious people. And second one is called Kshatriya. Kshatriya, they were rulers. Their responsibility was conducting war, protecting the country. They were especially the king family, kings. They were second supreme class under Varna system. The first one Brahmin, second one Kshatriya. Kshatriyas were the rulers. They are conducting war. They are protecting the country. And third one, that is called Vaishyas. Vaishyas, they were farmers. They were traders. They were herders. Herders means rearing the cattle. Then farmers are sugar traders and sugar. So Vaishyas, they were farmers, traders, and herders. And they have enough money, but they have no social status. Social status is held by Brahmins and Kshatriya. In society, Vaishyas not getting high social status, even though they have more money in their pockets. So Vaishya turned to farmers, traders, and herders. So this Vaishya we discuss here. Vaishyas also gifted or brought to gift to the king, ordinary people. And fourth group is called Shudra. Shudra, we discussed that they were excluded, exempted, and they were excluded from all the one type of rituals. There is untouchability existing. They were not permitted to enter temple and performing the rituals and studying Veda. And Shudras and women have the same condition. Women and Shudras are not allowed to study Veda, enter the temples. So they have the same status. And this Shudra serve other three groups, Varna. Shudras are served the other three ones, like Vaishya, Kshatriya, and Brahmana. They were lower caste. They have no social status. They have no land. They were not permitted to attend the rituals. That's about our Shudras. And these four Varnas, the determining factor is birth and occupation. For example, we can discuss here. A Brahmin son and doctor became a Brahmin person. He got this caste or Brahmin Varna because by birth. He automatically got studied Veda and became a priest. And Shudra's son and daughter always became a Shudra, always became a lower caste. And Shudra only done the agricultural activities and serving activity. And Vaishyas always done the farmers and merchants. Kshatriya always became king and other person. So occupation, that's residing in our Varna. So that's about our four Varnas and the classification. So once again, in Heterolytic period, Indian society classified into four groups. First one Brahmin, second one Kshatriya, fourth one Vaishya, and third one Vaishya, fourth one Shudra. Brahmins, they studied Veda, they became priests, they have high social status, and they performed rituals. Then Kshatriya, they were rulers, protecting the country, they were conducting and fought in wars. Second, social status, high social status. Then Vaishya, they were farmers, traders, herders. Then Shudras were the lower caste. They served three groups, other three ones. Other three ones is called Brahmin, Kshatriya, and Vaishya. Okay, so that's about this session. I hope that it is very clear. And if you have any doubt about this module, you can ask me through WhatsApp or text message. And again, if any doubt, I will clear through our live session.